welcome to the annual Night Marathon. Night Marathon 5. This is Aaron. You check him out at the Cinessential. And this is China. This year we are going to do the Saw series, all in one sitting. There are 7 movies in the Saw series. I understand they planned it like George Lucas, and it was all planned from the beginning. That's a lie. That's not true. It started as a short film, and people are like, ooh, cool. Kill traps. Are you ready to see Saw?
Yeah. Seesaw. Let's go to the park. Let's just do that instead.
That's the guy who wrote it.
Is that not the guy from Princess Bride?
That is. That's Wesley.
This probably was not as he wished.
Oh, God.
This is the worst part.
I think that speed ramp thing, when they're doing their puzzles, makes it way less scary. The implications are way scarier than the whipping camera.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a music video.
Yeah.
I feel like hers isn't that hard. The dude's already dead. You don't have to kill the guy next to you.
Whale?
Oh, never mind. Sorry. I talked too soon. I talked too soon.
I just keep repeating the last thing I said to her over and over again, and then it was like, "Good night, honey.
Good
I'm
night.
not gonna leave you." It's not that bad. No.
Uh-oh. No. China, you gotta watch.
You gotta watch.
I almost feel like more of a thriller to me than an actual horror movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh!
We got our first jump scare.
There. Yes. Yes. Oh!
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
That was cool.
Turn off these lights. Whatever.
He's such a 15-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you do?
This is James Wan working his magic right
Yeah,
there.
didn't you do that in another movie?
Who are you? You know who I am. I need to know. I know it's you, you son of a bitch.
Larry.
Hallie?
This is smart. He is a doctor.
He's a doctor.
Oh,
dude!
Oh! He's pissed.
So the first Saw movie, directed by James Wan, written by James Wan and Lee Winnell. Rob has joined us. This is going to be filled with spoilers for the entire Saw series all day. At the beginning of the movie, a couple people wake up in a room. They're both chained to pipes in the room, and it's this broken down bathroom. And they start trying to figure out why they're there. There's a couple clues here, there's some tapes. They listen to the tapes, and they're like, you don't appreciate life. So then the doctor's like, oh wait, I've heard of this guy. This guy, like, chains people up in puzzles, and then they have to either die or really hurt themselves trying to, or others, to not die. Like, one guy had to crawl through a bunch of razor blades, one girl had a reverse bear trap on her head that was going to spring open, and instead she had
Really
to
appreciate
cut into a
visual
guy's
now.
stomach to get the key. Which she did. Shawnee Smith, she's awesome. They start kind of piecing it together, and there are these cops as well who are trying to find out who the killer is. One played by Danny Glover, and they're all crazy. Everybody in this movie is crazy. Comes to the end. This whole time, there has been a third body in the room with its head blown off since the very beginning. That, in fact, was Jigsaw. He was laying there the whole time. Jigsaw's the name of the killer with the puppet. And everybody suffers, you know? This one played a lot more like a thriller
Yeah.
than like a straight-up horror movie. There were horror moments, for sure.
I noticed a few.
What do you think of Saw?
I didn't like it until the end.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've never seen it. I've only seen like one somewhere randomly in the middle, but until that ending, I was kind of like, I don't know what all the fuss was about. The way they twisted it around and he's been laying in the room the whole time, it's actually pretty cool.
The dialogue is awful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like straight up like cliche dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really over the top at some point, but they're like, no!
Yeah, really over the top performances. But this was James Wan's first movie. James Wan is the modern master of horror. Like, he is nailing it with all his Conjurings and his Insidiouses, his Insidii. But all the speed ramping he does in this with the camera and everyone's driving, it's like,
Oh yeah, the driving scene is ridiculous.
It really does make it less scary.
It makes it way less scary.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while he does a scene where like he actually lets things take the time, because as bad as the dialogue in the script is, like the plot, the puzzles, the mysteries, all that stuff is really, really well done. That's why Saw took off, because Jigsaw's a great killer.
I like the stuff more in the room. It gets kind of ridiculous a little bit, but
Well, just in how over the top they are.
yeah, everything kind of outside the room just gets too complicated.
Yeah.
It really tries hard to make you suspect every single person in the movie is behind it. But I think this sort of simple structure in the room, them figuring out little bit by little bit, like a Agatha Christie type, like,
yeah, a little bit of a whodunit.
like thriller. And I'm guessing that's probably what the short film is more of.
Well, the short film basically is the bear trap scene.
Oh, okay.
James Wan was pulling from a couple things. It looks a lot like Seven.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when he lets things take the time they take, a lot of times in those quiet, like, people looking around, you know the killer's somewhere around, in other movies, it just is boring. But
Yeah.
he makes it interesting and suspenseful. That was directed by James Wan in the year,
2004.
like all good horror franchises, they just pumped them out year after year. So this is 2005. Directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, written by Lee Winnell and Darren Lynn Bousman.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do with all of these was also read the tagline. So
Oh, okay.
Saw 1, the
Yeah.
tagline was, "Every puzzle has its pieces." Jigsaw also cuts out puzzle piece shaped skin marks
is
on
like-
all of his victims.
Yeah,
Saw 2,
Oh yes, there will be blood.
everybody's always stealing.
Paul Thomas Anderson's a fan.
That's right, the Venus flytrap.
It's pretty rare for a horror movie to like be centered around cops.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
God.
Weird thing is, they didn't even try to acknowledge to the audience that these people all just kind of woke up here or anything. We just have to kind of go with it because we saw the last movie.
We all just woke up here like you.
There we go.
Is that the same Amanda from the last
Yeah.
movie?
Yeah. See, I like the idea of Puzzle House. I think Puzzle House is cool.
It's
Yeah.
super cool.
I kind of like the idea that this one's all based around the game.
The only door you know how to open is between your legs.
Oh, jeez. Come on.
Okay, this guy needs to die.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Oh yeah, this is terrifying.
Are you kidding me right now?
Dude, this guy's got to die. It's one of the most brutal scenes I've ever seen.
Hit him!
Only makes you breathe.
Oh,
Man. For real. Although maybe she doesn't want to risk missing.
Long-haired girl.
Oh, the wrists.
Oh, that's right. Maybe this is not happening concurrently.
I think so.
Oh.
I don't, yeah.
Oh.
I don't think this is a live feed.
Hello, Eric. You probably don't even remember me, but you changed my life once.
Who wants to do the synopsis this time?
Cop and his son, rocky relationship. They get a tip, they find Jigsaw. Jigsaw says, I have your son. We see live video feed of people in a house. They wake up together. They don't know each other, but they have something in common. The whole house is one big death trap. Several traps that are connected. There's a safe with an antidote. There's a nerve gas. If they work together, they can survive the traps and the nerve gas and get the antidote in the safe.
It's really all just a social experiment.
Basically.
Most notorious and memorable trap from this one, obviously, is Needle Pit.
Yeah.
A bunch of syringes in this pit.
Several of which look used.
This girl gets thrown into it, she has to dig her way through them, and they're stuck in all over.
To find a key to open the door.
Yeah.
I wonder
Which she found.
She did.
She did.
Key.
Needle and a stack of needles.
I mean, she did waste a lot of time there at the beginning being like, oh, I found
This group of people who woke up in this house, they all were arrested by the same guy who was the cop, and his son is locked in there with...
Well, and it's sort of implied that he set them all up.
Right. Yeah.
Right,
But
yeah.
they were all
Dirty
wrongfully,
cop. This woman that he's escaping with, the cop's son is escaping with, they go down into the lower levels of the house to the room from the first movie.
It's a nice reveal.
Remember, Amanda comes from the first movie, too.
She does.
Right.
One of the girls who woke up in the room is the one who thought he was this great person who helped her get rid of her drug addiction by trapping her. What do we think compared to Saw 1?
Much better.
I actually liked it much better too.
It is more just entertaining.
I would say it's entertaining because I think it's so dynamic in terms of number of people, diversity in traps.
Yeah, and a lot more relationships happening too, which
Yeah.
helps move the movie along.
And thinking about the twists in both. The first one just kind of comes out of nowhere, like right at the very end.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like there were more like clues, like hidden throughout the movie.
Although they did away with a lot of the suspense of the first movie, there wasn't a lot of like quiet, like build suspense moments. Saw and Hostel started the whole torture porn phenomenon in the 2000s, and this time you really get it. You spend time with people being tortured.
Yeah.
Like her in the needle pit lasts over a minute, and the
Yeah.
whole time I was like, ah.
That needle pit scene is definitely...
I did.
That's one of the most intense things I've ever
That
seen.
was so cool.
We are now joined by Sellers, which you've seen in previous Night Marathons, and joined by Travis,
Hello.
who you also remember from the Friday the 13th Night Marathon. Moving into Saw 3, same director, screenplay by Lee Winnell, who wrote the first and...
Three. He did the first three.
Wow.
Who wants to read the tagline of this one?
Suffering? You haven't seen anything yet.
No!
So you gonna try to smash it?
Smash his
Foot.
Oh, I feel like now it would have been better to cut it off.
That fits so good.
Well, I wonder.
That was awesome.
That was good. Full of nails?
It's a nail bomb.
That was an awesome transition.
That
was
was a
nice.
great transition.
Darren Lynn Bousman, man.
There's some good ones too.
That's awesome. Movies, I will say that.
We don't have a main character yet.
No.
They don't exist.
Unless it's Amanda.
No, it's Jigsaw, technically.
I'm locked in.
It's a messed up storyline.
Yeah.
Is Mommy dead? I'm assuming Mommy's dead
Yeah.
too.
And
Yeah.
the son, yeah. Like this is this is legit.
Now I'm getting why they started this off with so many traps. I think
There's one guy in this series of traps thing that can't be offing people left and right, so they had to get it all up front.
Give her your sweater, dude.
Yeah.
Cover her up.
Good call.
Layers.
You selfish bastard.
Oh snap!
This is great. This is a great story right here.
What did I miss?
I think we figured it out.
Wait, I don't get it.
Is she the mom? Or the driver?
Yeah.
God damn it!
I like how she has the bit taped off so she doesn't go
How
too
far?
deep.
That's really smart.
That's amazing.
Oh
So everyone who survived, she just went and killed
I
it.
guess so.
no! That came out of nowhere.
Oh god! Oh my god!
Glad I missed that one.
Flashback.
I mean, we get it. She failed.
Yeah, right.
Like a while ago.
Yeah.
They did set it up that when she bleeds, she has flashbacks, and now it's like she's bleeding profusely, and that's all she's having is flashbacks.
Oh.
I'm so glad they showed it.
We picked up where we left off at the end of the second one. Homeboy smashes his foot with the lid of the toilet instead of cutting it off, which was somehow worse.
It was way gross.
Yeah.
It's
Super
the
gross.
sound of it.
There's
Oh, God.
this series of
Man,
traps where we established
Closet
that
trap.
it was like, oh, but these people didn't have any way to escape at all.
Yeah.
This isn't his MO.
Most of the Jigsaw traps, if you punish yourself brutally, you can escape from them and
actually can
survive.
get out.
He only had so much time to get out of the room, but the door was sealed shut, so
And
he
he
never
was-
would have been able to get out.
Yeah.
And then
then-
she gets her ribs ripped out, even though she like unlocked
She actually
the thing.
unlocked it. This woman surgeon gets kidnapped by Shawnee Smith from the last two movies, who was in cahoots, in cahoots with Jigsaw, in this makeshift hospital room. And she's like, you have to help him. He's dying. Fix him, or you die. And they put like a shotgun collar on her.
Yeah.
Linked
And
to his
then
heart monitor.
the rest of the movie were flashbacks.
And then there's a guy in the box, get all this flashback about how his son got killed and...
Most of the traps after that were just this guy who lost his son going through. He has to decide whether or not the witness who drove off after his son was hit by a car.
The judge.
The judge, whether he lives or dies,
then the
didn't give
man-
the guy enough of a sentence, and then the guy who hit his son with a car.
He got the worst of like everything.
In the flashback where we saw him hit the kid, like, he seemed to be the most remorseful of anyone.
All this whole time, Jigsaw tells Amanda, I've been testing you, and you failed. Because she shoots the doctor. The doctor turns out to be the guy's wife. And then Jigsaw's like, do you forgive me for killing everybody, Jeffrey? And Jeffrey's like, I forgive you, buzzsaw. And then,
least his
as
name
he's
was
dying, he
Larry.
presses play on another cassette tape.
Yeah.
Guess what? I've got your daughter locked in a room somewhere. She only has a certain amount of time.
Of course.
I am the only one who knows where. You killed me. Movie over.
His wife dies, shotgun collar goes off
that
because he
was-
dies.
But that's the last image we see.
Very
It's not of
image,
him
yeah.
like screaming or anything, or like his daughter.
It's
and
her
the-
exploded face.
It's brains splattered across the wall.
Yep. Compared to the other two, where do we fall? What do you think?
I like this one the least so far.
The least of all of them?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
I
it's.
still stand with the first
I
one
love
being the
to.
worst.
I like how emotional it is, though. Like
Well,
the
there's-
motivation
I like
for
the
for
story
our
to it.
main survivor who's choosing whether or not to make people live. You sympathize with him so much, which you don't with anybody else
I
in
don't
any of the other
sympathize
movies.
with
Well, not
You don't
after,
feel
the
bad for
first,
him?
not after the first couple,
No.
because the
Not
entire
really.
time what people are being tortured, and he's like, oh, what am I? Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Yeah,
This is-
that's kind of the
Just-
hypocrisy of Jigsaw, though, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
his whole thing about, like, claiming he's not a murderer, it's, like, just total bullshit.
It's cool that each time they find a new reason, kind of, for the traps. They find new motivations for all of the characters, which a lot of horror franchises don't do. And they explored a lot of the relationship between Amanda and Jigsaw this time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
there was a
explored.
lot of
I
that.
think that the Jigsaw Amanda thing, I think it is a really cool idea that she's following in his footsteps, but she's not doing it right.
Yeah.
So he wants to,
didn't
like, let someone live.
Yeah.
That's cool, but there's, like, you have to wade through so much shit to get there.
Yeah, it just, the problem is the pacing was off. The pacing was way slower on this one. I
Yes.
believe there's too much flashbacks, and because when they have an unrated version of a movie, they want to say so many more minutes. I think they
They're just
overcut some of the
putting in the-
sequences.
they're-
So now we are also joined by Carlin and Jill.
Yay!
Anybody not sticking around for 4?
I'm gonna get a beer.
2007, we get Saw 4. Who's going to read the tagline for us?
It's a trap.
Penis.
Ooh, nice.
Dead penis.
Oh, it's Jigsaw's penis.
Wait, Mr. Penis?
Still on screen.
It's
I knew you'd cut my head open, so I had a tape player implanted in my brain.
Wow.
Hi.
I guess he's dead.
You also found
That's cool.
That is awesome.
Disgusting.
I love the
It's
color.
green. No.
What?
Yes!
Yes, it's an actual tape.
Okay, remember he poured wax on a thing that said play?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Ah!
There's a kitten in the mirror.
How the hell do you lean against evidence and not know it?
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm Special Agent Lindsay Perez. This is
that the
Special
Amanda?
Agent Peter Strong.
Yeah!
What?
He's from Gilmore Girls.
I think that there's a oh.
Got me.
Saw that?
Got me.
Did you jump?
Yeah.
Oh
Awesome! That was awesome!
Whoa.
This guy's transitions are incredible.
I'm sorry, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great little puzzle.
No.
That sucks, Cecil.
Whoa.
Each one has a subplot.
Wait a
and just,
second.
like-
What?
Hold on.
So it's happening at the same time as the end of the last movie.
See, that's what I was thinking.
So the autopsy is something different then.
It's later.
That's out of time. Then.
Yeah.
But
Everything else was in.
Yeah. This is happening.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable kill.
Okay.
Great. All right.
What?
It starts with a really awesome autopsy of Jigsaw. They cut open his brain, they pull it out of his head, all this stuff, and then they cut open his stomach and they find a tape in there encased in wax. Basically, it breaks down into two stories. One, there is a cop named Riggs, whose wife is like tired of him being obsessed with work. He gets like a picture like, I've got her. Jigsaw has his wife. Right. You've got 90 minutes to get through, save your wife. So he basically tries to save this one woman.
saves the hooker.
I don't think she was a hooker. I think she was actually abducting children.
Oh.
That was very briefly, there's like
that what
a
it
flash,
was?
a visual. Jigsaw's like, see what I see, feel what I feel, all this stuff. So that he goes through a series of traps there. The other storyline, the beginning of Jigsaw.
We go
so,
all the way back.
Yeah.
The origin of evil.
So he's married to this woman, and she's pregnant, and she works at a health clinic. She has a miscarriage because the junkie hits her with the door, which China was totally on board with.
We don't even look alike anymore.
So then he was Jigsaw's first victim, being like, you're this junkie bum, you have to push your face into knives.
Yeah,
So
the razor wire pit.
Those were the two purposes
cool.
of this storyline. He is training one guy to join his Jigsaw team. Then at the end, we find out that the third movie was happening at the same time as the fourth movie. Oh, an FBI agent has been following the cop who's having to do all this stuff, played by Luke Danes of Gilmore Girls. So he's going through the warehouse at the same time as the end of the third movie is happening.
It's like the Tokyo
But
Drift
they
of the
threw it off
sub-series.
by having that autopsy in the beginning, which clearly took place after all of this
Which-
would have
right.
ended.
Right, they were tricking the audience. The entire movie was a flashback without telling us.
Yeah.
Then, at the end, we
wild.
see that the autopsy has just happened.
Right.
And, okay, so there's another police officer who we've seen in several movies. He has also been setting up traps for Jigsaw, but we don't know why.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, he's better at it than Amanda was.
Yeah.
Because he's actually playing the actual like Jigsaw game
Right.
of letting them choose to survive.
Yeah. And
Women are just too
And he doesn't.
emotional.
Yeah, he doesn't cry
Exactly,
all the time.
Jen.
He doesn't
Thank
cut
you.
himself
Thank you for putting
while
that to rest.
crying.
So there was just a lot of stuff happening in here. This one was still directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, and this was the first one written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan. They write the next few.
Man.
Phew, there are only 3 left. That means all of them.
What did we think of this one?
First of all, there were only a few torture
Yeah, there's a lot of
scenes.
Right.
There wasn't
Yeah, it was
a
a
lot
lot of-
going
lot of
on as
story.
far as gruesome.
See, there
like,
was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Pretty
Five.
good body
There was
count.
quite a few. There was quite a few torture
My
devices.
favorite.
But
My,
this
didn't seem
my
like it.
favorite was the battered wife who's like ripping the poles out of her arm, but then she's got that like "F you husband," like ripping him out and like tossing him to the
Yeah,
ground.
so there's the abused wife and her husband
Yes.
are back to back. They're connected through a series of posts running through both of them. On his side, they're through arteries. On her side, they're through
Like
organs
flesh.
that will heal.
Right, yeah.
So if she pulls them out, he'll die.
Great
That was
moment.
good.
Yeah,
that was
that was
probably
really
my
good.
favorite.
Oh, and then the last thing too is that Luke Danes was trapped in the warehouse at the end.
Yes.
That's
Everything
true.
else.
And he
this-
killed the husband from Saw 3.
Jeff.
He killed Jeff.
Jeff.
Yes.
Now he's trapped in
Oh
the
yeah.
room.
So Jeff, we didn't know what happened to Jeff. Agent Luke Dane shot him.
Oh.
Too many threads in this.
There were a
movie.
lot of thread there. The third act, when it's like everything was starting to be revealed and come to.
I like that it was happening at the same time.
That was pretty
I do,
wild.
but I wish it was a little bit more explained before the end of this movie.
Just a
They
little
love
bit.
every film. They just like throw like a million things at you.
Yeah.
Like 5 minutes before it's over.
Yeah. Next, we move into Saw 5, the very next year, 2008. No More Darren Lynn Bousman. Now directed by David Hackle. Screenplay, again, by Melton and Dunstan. Tagline.
You won't believe how it ends.
Oh, that's not good.
There you go.
Oh no, I know what he does.
Oh, what?
Oh! He draked himself! Draked himself!
No way!
From Buffy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Angel's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Darla.
Darla.
Okay, wait, you all just confused me. So she wasn't from any of the other movies we just saw.
No.
Okay,
No,
thank
there
you.
are no repeats.
He must be like a journalist or something.
You don't know me, man.
I'm an investigative journalist.
Hey.
Not even. Yeah.
That's Marcus Dunstan. Patrick Melton, writers.
How funny.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Oh, here we go.
Flashback.
They, on purpose, obfuscate the timeline every time. I really thought we'd be spending more time with the group in the new puzzle.
Yeah, me too.
So Amanda wasn't Apprentice 1. She was technically Apprentice 2.
Yeah.
But I liked Amanda more than him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a bucket of nothing.
Oh!
Hardcore bitch. I wonder if the director was like, alright, nobody's gonna remember you. You just got like one of those faces. Just put a Bluetooth in your ear.
He's in the detective's house.
Oh.
Jesus! That scared the shit out of me.
Oh no!
Yeah, less so.
That's awesome! That was awesome!
The glass lockbox thing is the safe spot.
It is.
She got it. Oh, shit.
Brutal.
We follow the main detective who's now taken on the identity of Jigsaw. He's basically Jigsaw's apprentice prior to Amanda, even. A lot of long flashbacks, a lot of plot set up to the current story of the investigator who gave himself a trach.
Agent Luke Danes.
Yeah, Agent Luke Danes survived the basically glass box drowning incident by giving himself a trach. You know, finds out the truth about this one detective who I don't even know his name. Hoffman, who is now Jigsaw's apprentice, really. That's essentially like the main thread of this movie.
That's about like probably 5/8.
Yes. Storyline B is really interesting, but they didn't keep in contact with it at all.
Yeah, we wanted to be with it the whole time.
The whole time.
And it was only 3/8
The
of the
setup
movie.
was great
It's
when they
very
revealed
separated.
it by pulling away like the cloth and showing like the mock, you know, little dolls, and then each room and compartment that they were going to go through with the traps.
Those people, the 5, they were all connected, but they weren't really connected to anything else. It was like a whole new thing,
Yeah, it
and
was
then
its own
new
subplot.
thing.
and then
It was
Yeah.
just this thing that happened that they needed to be punished for as a group.
Right.
Right.
Hold on, hold
This
on, hold
entire
on.
series is that if people would just listen
Yes.
to the rules,
Listen to the
they
rules.
would just all make it out okay.
Well,
Yeah.
the plot line with the 5 people, the idea that the keys are all the same, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the second challenge, like, it's so obvious
Yeah.
that it fits
that they
more
could
people.
all just
Yeah.
fit in one.
Yeah.
That's really stupid.
So with
I mean,
every challenge in this one, that
Yeah.
the new
Yeah, they
team
only needed to get
only
one
needed to
open.
work together, and they would have all survived.
I think that was the most interesting part of this movie.
Yeah.
I don't think that the storyline with the detective, I unfortunately just, I don't find his character very interesting.
Yeah, no, it's the problem. The entire storyline between Agent Luke Danes working his way through things and the new Jigsaw, the new Jigsaw isn't interesting.
He's not interesting.
I much prefer Amanda as the new Jigsaw.
I agree.
And he's not intimidating. He's not scary.
I think his lack of luster comes from the fact that his motivation was limited to vengeance for killing. The first person to die in this movie is immediate vengeance. He tries to pin on Jigsaw so he can get away with it. Jigsaw changed as a person and it became a part of him. He lacks that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the ethos.
I think it's just simpler than that too. Like, you see Tobin Bell and he looks so interesting and sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
And,
And he's boring and generic and sounds exactly like Luke.
Best kill.
It wasn't a kill, but for me, the circular saw and the reveal of the arm and the hand.
That was the
brilliant.
yeah.
It was so good.
I think 4 had better crazy moments than 5 did.
Sure. And we have been joined by Eliza.
They're all kind of blending together at this point.
They are.
Well, I liked this one more than 4, though. Saw 6.
The game has come full circle.
That was good.
That was good. Well done.
It's kind of cool that they all kind of start when somebody like moves. It's like so natural to think to do, you know?
Oh my god! Man, she's determined!
Is that Amanda? Yep.
Amanda's back! Amanda's back!
That's good. I had never... Damn!
The girl's totally left in the right time.
I think that's probably one of the greatest moments in the franchise is the autopsy. Really detailed, really specific, gruesome.
Good reveal.
Great reveal. Yeah.
I just don't care about him.
I just don't see that he feels like he needs to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, he has no motivation. He doesn't have the belief system.
He's a puppet.
Is this the Exorcist theme?
Kind of almost.
It sounds like it.
So is this like Obamacare?
Ha!
I'm asking. No, like I'm being serious.
See how much more interesting she is?
Yeah.
Just a couple sentences.
Yes.
It's her delivery. Everything.
She's Harley
Johnny Smith. What'd you say?
She is very Harley
Quinn to
Quinn.
his
Yeah.
Joker.
Oh!
Oh!
Beard. Done.
Damn, that was a fall.
Awesome.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite part of this movie.
That right there.
Yeah. That was real. There is not a lot of competition, but all of that was like super awesome human stuff.
Oh, nice.
Whoa! Yeah. Oh!
Poor girl's face.
I don't care.
Yes, kill him.
Please.
Oh, that was smart. Alright. The penultimate Saw until next year.
So we open up with 2 people, pit it against each other for a pound of flesh, and whoever put in the most got to live. The girl who cut off her arm got to live. Cut to the insurance company where we meet our poor victim in this movie, who ends up canceling insurance for people that are sick and are going to die. Executive Vice President of You're Screwed. He was working with John and denied him his coverage, and
yeah, John is Jigsaw. I don't know that we've said it at all throughout the day. Jigsaw's real name was John Kramer.
Yeah, so naturally, after John died, the game went on to him, and so he ends up in 3 or 4 different rooms.
1 second. I don't know that we've ever said throughout the entire day that Jigsaw has cancer. Jigsaw's whole thing is making people appreciate life by seeing how much they're willing to endure to survive. Have we said that at all?
No.
No,
we haven't.
Well,
No.
in this movie, they really lay that thesis out, like completely, plainly.
They beat you over the head with it. That's their
this one.
theme of every movie.
Right.
Appreciate life. Appreciate life.
Other side of it, we have our bad cop.
New Jigsaw.
His wife's involved
man.
too.
There's nobody to follow really anymore.
No,
like
he's
an
gone.
interesting John Kramer or an interesting Amanda.
Well, that was the thing. We saw Amanda at the very beginning of the film, and we
I
were
thought
all
she
kind of
had
like,
lived.
"Oh, great! Yeah, she lived. She lived the gunshot in the neck. Like she's coming back."
At this point, it was nice to see her again in the series, even if it was just flashbacks.
I think they undercut themselves in that she has been the most interesting and viable character in the series since Jigsaw. I want to follow this detective that they've made the new Jigsaw. I want him to be good, but
everything
motivation
that he delivers is like this.
Yes,
yes. You're following this top executive insurance agent, as Rob was saying, through this series of
traps. First is
whoa.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
whoa,
hey,
whoa,
hey,
what?
Hey,
After credit scene!
Don't trust the one who saves you.
See? She's so much more interesting!
I'll say, like, the last, like, once you get to the merry-go-round...
That was the best scene.
I was just gonna say,
that was pretty good.
The trap was shotgun facing people on a merry-go-round. He can only save 2 of 5 people.
By getting pierced through the hand.
2 of 6 people. His hand gets crushed partially.
Drilled.
And it stops the shotgun blast, but it kills 4 other people. I think that was some of the most interesting because it let the victims who had zero control over the situation, because they all knew each other, they all got super shitty.
They were all making their case for why them over them, and this.
The one
thing,
like we never find out if she's telling the truth. She says, "I'm pregnant."
Yeah.
And then he lets it shoot her anyway.
Yeah. And every character on that merry-go-round was more interesting to me than New Jigsaw.
Yes. Exactly. And even the last guy. That's you look at me when you kill me.
That's good.
Great moment.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about this one is, since Jigsaw's whole thing, the entire series has been, you're gonna understand the value of your own life when the primal you is unlocked by this thing that I've created.
Right.
The fact that this time it just talked about the hypocrisy and the awfulness of insurance companies deciding who gets care was an interesting choice for, like, a horror movie series. We spent a lot of time talking about insurance company policy.
Yeah, it was very reflective of the time. I thought it was a cool narrative on that subject, but...
And still,
feel like
the most boring movie.
The most boring.
The next one is also written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, and Kevin Greutert.
Yeah, same guy who
directed the last 2.
Okay.
This one and the next one we're about to watch. The Lee Winnell trilogy was far more interesting.
That's true.
Than all the other movies that have come out.
We
get
all the original characters are done.
Yeah.
And you still have Jigsaw
It's
and
all
everything,
flashback
but it's all
stuff.
flashbacks.
Yeah,
Which is
let's finish it up.
Yeah.
Saw,
Let's do it.
the final chapter, and there is no tagline. The tagline is the final chapter.
What? Way more control.
Oh!
Happens to
Saw
Skinner.
3D.
This is the one!
Break out your 3D glasses, folks!
He set those cops on fire. Jeez! I didn't do it!
Wow.
I don't know.
Scared the shit out of me, and all of it
I don't
was
want
an
any of
office
this. Sorry,
scene.
it wasn't...
Oh, you can receive in this house, Jill.
Okay.
That was
Alright.
very
Creepy.
sexual.
Because to show her body.
Whoa!
Holy...
And in 3D, can you imagine those guts coming at you?
She's not
It was
really
a dream.
And then that guy.
This movie looks terrible.
Like I said, 3D. They had to overlay everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a made-for-TV cable movie. Yeah. This could be Sharknado, you guys.
That was left for me, and your fingerprints were all over it.
Oh my god!
Seriously?
Stretch.
Oh!
Yeah, she's dead either way.
This is absolutely the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, what's this
Because of all the
arterial blood
twisting.
coming
Yeah.
out of
Because
your
of all the
mouth?
twisting.
Like, your mouth bleeds a lot, but not that much, dude. Damn.
Like, shattered its gum.
For real.
Okay, you guys all sound really confident for people who have never pulled your own teeth.
I'm watching.
I think the only person to blame here is Jake.
Oh!
Wow. Oh.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that was every bit as bad as I thought it would be.
That's it. That's it.
Saw the final
Bravo.
chapter. That's the end of the series. That movie was awful.
Yeah, it opens with the return to the basement. We see what happens to Larry.
Yeah, after he chopped off his foot in movie 1.
Cuts to the first kill scene in the movie, which is in a public location, some sort of constructed storefront, and there are 2 Trump bros chained up to a contraption with a saw blade in the middle. Directly above them is a very buxom woman who apparently has been sleeping with both of the men. Seems like unbeknownst to them. Not very nice to the ladies in this movie. So the 2 guys decide that instead of killing one of them, they'll just, like, fist bump and let the woman have it. So she dies. The main plot line is Bobby, a survivor of the Jigsaw killer. We find out there's this whole community of survivors that are rehabbing and talking about their issues. But he's making money off of it through press tours and going on TV shows. But he's a little fishy. We learn fairly quickly that he is a fraud, that he's made it all up. Bobby is then apprehended by the new Jigsaw, and he goes through a series of traps revolving around his posse.
Yeah, his publicity team.
Yeah.
Killing them one at a time. None of the traps are very interesting.
No, they're not.
The concept is sound. The execution is flawed.
The movie looked bad.
Yes.
Ironically, if you watch a 3D movie, not 3D, it looks really flat.
Everything looked like it was filmed in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he fails miserably. The finale is new Jigsaw, this sort of mini plot against him and Jigsaw's widow, who tried to kill new Jigsaw in the previous film. He is escaped, goes on a murdering rampage through a police office, and then finds her and puts the
reverse bear trap on her. Actually, I think it was the original bear trap.
It was the original. He put the original bear trap.
Oh, right, because I had the regular time.
Yeah, it was rusty.
And also, we finally got to see that thing work.
Gruesome.
Yeah.
That was gruesome.
Yeah.
Finally.
That was the best moment of the whole film. But every set, every location that they shot on was makeshift and cheap.
Yeah.
And then at the very, very end, new Jigsaw is leaving the police station. 3 people in the pig's mask jump out and beat him.
And we only figure out who one is.
One is, takes off the mask, and of course, it's Larry.
Larry!
We get all
Is
the...
that Carrie Elways for real?
Yeah. Flashbacks to the rise of Larry, who's apparently been working with Jigsaw this entire time. He was rescued by Jigsaw after leaving the basement, crawling out, and then trained to be his #1 apprentice. If that was the movie... it would have been a million times better.
Okay, so, series as a whole, what was the best Saw movie? 2. Absolutely.
2.
What was the worst Saw movie?
7.
This one.
Yeah, final.
This
Absolutely.
one.
You guys, thank you for joining us for another Night Marathon. You guys, thank you so much for joining me for another Night Marathon. Woo! If I was going to say, in terms of where this ranks with the other Night Marathons, and just in terms of sitting down and watching a whole movie series, still, Nightmare's the best, Halloween 2nd, Friday 3rd, Saw moves into 4th, and Chucky still at the bottom. Because no matter what, Seed of Chucky will pull an entire series. If you want to see any of those, you can click on them right over here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for joining us. You guys, thanks again.
Woo!
Game over.